You had that feeling things were going to go the Raiders' way in the very first series. Jim Plunkett's pass bounced off Kenny King and ended up in Raymond Chester's hands. Chester scored. The Raiders led it 7-0. Dan Fouts brought the Chargers right back, hitting that venerable one, Charlie Joyner, with a 48-yard touchdown. But the Raiders' defense put the clamps on Fouts, led by Lester Hayes and the mad stork, Ted Hendricks. The Raiders' offense poured it on in the first quarter, scoring 3 times. Plunkett's pass to King made it 21-7. Fouts did come back with another TD pass to Joyner, but the Raiders led it 28-14 at the half. In the second half, the Raiders played keep away with Mark Van Eegen doing the keeping. When San Diego did get the ball, Fouts was pressured and couldn't get the deep ball going. With the score 34-27, the wild card Raiders and Plunkett held the ball for the final 6 minutes to win an improbable trip to the Super Bowl.
The Raiders have beaten the Broncos more than they've beaten any other team. The Broncos have lost to the Raiders more than they've lost to any other team.
I do think they have a psychological edge on us now, no question about it. I think until we are able to beat them, that's not going to change.
Unfortunately, the Raiders, won a lot of close games in those times and made it a more of a psychological problem for us to overcome.
When you get to a point where you feel like you just dominate a team, then you tend to lose respect for them. And I think that that's what's happened over the years. I don't really feel like the Raiders respect the Broncos the way that they should.
As of now, we have that psychological edge from the standpoint that we're able to dictate to them what we want them to do.
I hope they keep thinking that way. Tell them to come on in.
They have to be thinking going into the game, what can we do to beat these guys, I mean, what is it going to take to shoot them all, to get rid of the whole team?
I don't think Tim Brown has any understanding of how we feel going into this game.
There's a belief here that we'll always find a way to beat the Denver Broncos no matter what happens.
I think that statement's ridiculous.
I don't know. I think the only thing they have left to do is to cheat, to cheat, to steal, to lie, to do something, pay the officials off or something.
You can say that after you win. After we win, we can say anything we want to. We can say we intimidated them, and that's why we beat them, and that's what we're going to say, maybe.
The sense you get from the Broncos is they don't want to get into a war of words with the Raiders. But, according to players, what appears to be an unemotional response is due to Wade Phillips, who frowns upon any display of anger or animosity.
I don't stand for that from my team.
You get the feeling from some of your teammates that it's only words.
Oh, well, then they're lying. They're not being honest with you. I think it angers you to no end, but public image, we want to look like we can't be affected, when in fact, my blood's boiling right now. We like nothing better than to knock crap from them, honestly.
Maybe the Raiders' domination is tied to their style of play.
Hit after the play, push people in the face, bring people off the bench and start fights.
When the play's over, guys hit you in the back, and you almost feel like they've come to count on us not retaliating.
Okay, don't get mad at me, Tito. Cheaters never win.
I don't want to be like them. I'd rather you don't want to say you'd rather lose in this league, but I'd rather do things the right way.
Were you almost ready to say we'd rather lose the right way than win their way?
That's what I said.
But Simon says...
I'm not saying do something stupid and get thrown out of the game, but on the next play when the ref's not looking, what's wrong with slugging a guy? I mean, he got you the last play, now it's get even time.
For the Broncos to reverse this one-sided rivalry, they must swing the psychological pendulum their way. And as any good shrink might advise, it starts with saying what you believe and believing what you say.
What comes out of your mouth is what you truly believe and feel in your heart. So if you say, I'm going to go out and kick it out of the Raiders, and you believe it, then chances are you're going to do it.
Good job, Andrew. Tommy, are you ready for some boxing? Pat Boland, by the way, just called up again during the piece. You ready now?
After watching that piece, now I'm ready to play. In the 60s when the Broncos wore this uniform, there was a point at which the Raiders won 14 straight games. Now they've won 9 out of the last 10. Aggressiveness and mental attitude will affect them, but I'll let you in on something. It was alumni weekend for the Broncos. John Elway stood in front of a group of Bronco boosters on Friday night and promised that he would get a victory today against the Raiders. Might have been a small crowd.
I don't know for what reason, but he told me that he was going to get me. I think he's tried to ruin, the latter part of my career, try to devalue me. I think he's trying to stop me from going to the Hall of Fame. It's been difficult. I've tried several different private ways to get my behind thrown out of there, but it hasn't worked.
Marcus was an unrestricted free agent in 1993, and he was looking for a team. He also was watching what we were doing, and I kind of knew that when I traded for Joe and we got him, that this really made an impact on Marcus. He called me, he said, I will tell you 2 reasons that I want to come and play for the Chiefs. He said, number 1 is I get to play against the Raiders and Al Davis twice a year, which I knew. And then he said, the other thing is, I've always wanted to play with Joe Montana, and you just made a great trade.
There's no question that Marcus brought another element to the rivalry. Al Davis basically benched him for 4 years. Well, all he really did was extend Marcus's career for 4 more years.
I'm sure you could write a good melodrama about how that happened, but the simplistic view from Kansas City was Bo Jackson, who was helping the Royals, decided that baseball wasn't enough. And then of all the damn places to play football, he's going to play for the Raiders. And suddenly Marcus Allen, this future Hall of Famer, is on the outs. Where better to go if you want to get back at Al Davis than go to Kansas City?
Marcus found a kindred spirit in Marty about the depths of dislike for the Raider organization, how important Raider Week was. Marcus really brought that, I think, to a forefront.
One play at a time. I know. All right.
That game was the equivalent to Marcus Allen of the Super Bowl. Marty knew this, and he was going to feed Marcus Allen the ball absolutely as much as he could.
Marcus Allen, how many superlatives do you have to describe how he's produced against his former team that did not want him?
I imagine that Marcus Allen will be congratulated by a lot of his former teammates from the Raiders. He's still close to many. They appreciate the job that he's done.
It was the Raiders, it was the rivalry, and they really disliked Al Davis a lot.
Most people knew that Marcus wasn't happy with what happened with him in the Raiders organization, but Marcus never really brought it up to us.
He didn't really want us to draw attention and play for him, but that changed when the game started. Marcus was an intense guy as it was.
That was pure Marcus Allen.
But I never saw a guy getting in more faces. He was all over him, talking more trash than anybody during those games, and he just wanted to crush Al Davis, and he wanted to crush the Raiders.
The players for Oakland respected Marcus. He was one of them. But I think Marcus basically played all those games looking at a guy trying to tackle him and seeing Al Davis's face.
Marcus Allen was probably a guy that a lot of people in this organization really liked because he was sideways with Al Davis before he got out of Raider black and silver. They had the guy that Al Davis seemed to be the most angry with, so giving that guy a chance to go out and succeed and rub it in Al Davis's face, I think Marty and certainly Marcus Allen reveled in doing it.
I saw his face after a couple of those games, and I think he enjoyed those games as much as any he played in his whole life.
Well, could Fletcher, and look at those old bucking Broncos on the helmet, Tom. You remember them. 7-0 Raiders in the first quarter. Jeff Hostetler scrambles right, and he hits Tyrone Montgomery. I said Tyrone Montgomery. He's gone. He's gone off to the posse. 65 yards. It's 14-0. The Raiders.
Yeah, Hostetler here. You see him presenting a problem as he scrambles out of the pocket to the right. We freeze right there. People starting to wonder whether he's going to come forward, whether he's going to throw the ball. Tyrone Montgomery gets behind that midline defense. Easy route to the end zone.
Charlie Waters, his Bronco defense in big-time trouble. Haas, time. Warren Wells, number 8. No, it's Tim Brown on the crossing route. Randy Hilliard can't stop him. And then gets a big-time block from Darrell Hobbs at the goal line, 43 yards, 21-0 Raiders. Wade Phillips down 28-3 at the half. This is at Mile High Stadium. Tyrone Montgomery, it's a fumble. Ray Crockett picks it up, then gets up and goes down the sideline. He can't go all the whoa, he can't do it. He's finally out of bounds, but the Broncos maybe have a big turnover. 3 plays later, the former Patriot, Leonard Russell. He's in. 28-9. Russell fired up. Art Shell, usual stoic face. After the Broncos get the ball back, momentum shifting. John Elway, Russell out of the backfield. It's Albert Lewis, strips him of the ball. Terry McDaniel falls on it and picks it up for the opportunistic Raiders. So, Haas back to work. Hits the former Chief, Harvey Williams. Makes the move at the 5, long necks it into the end zone. 35-9 Raiders. Haas, 4 games as a Raider against the Broncos. 12 TDs, no picks. 1,206 yards. John Elway, Jim Fossil trying to figure out a comeback. But Elway picked off by Terry McDaniel, the Pro Bowl corner. He's gone. Elway has been picked for touches all 3 games. And in this one, it was a laugher. 48-16. The Raiders over the Denver Broncos as Hostetler continues his mastery, and Art Shell now 10-1. The worst home loss for the Broncos since they wore uniforms close to that. And Steve Tenzie played quarterback, I think, in 1968. Trying to get him out of the pivot there for Heath Schuler for Washington, John. But John Freeze from Idaho had a big game, 381 yards, although in a losing effort. Drew Bledsoe in a winning effort threw 50 passes as well. Steve Young, 31 of 39 Raiders win at Mile High. When we were
we have not as ugly as some that I've seen.
Yeah, we have some pretty good looking ones.
I see Al still he's got his old uniform on.
Yeah, he never did get away
That's
from
the same one he wears now.
Old-timers.
While the appearance of Al Davis hasn't changed much through the years, the attitude of his Raiders hasn't changed at all.
They don't respect us. Let's run by their own damn state. Let's go, man. Let's play some football.
Last Sunday, the Raiders continued their domination of the Denver Broncos.
Out to the right side. Lets the pass go. Wide open in the middle. Montgomery at the 40. At the 30. He's to the 20. 10 to the 5. It's a Raider touchdown.
Keep blowing that ass, baby. Look good. Looking good, baby.
Hey, Smith. Hey, Smith. It's Dusty. Let's shoot. Come on, man. Let's make it possible.
John Elway was repeatedly pressured and sacked 4 times, while Jeff Hostetler was calmly delivering 3 first-half touchdown passes. Tim Brown's brilliant 43-yard catch and carry ended a 21-point first-quarter barrage by the Silver and Black. By halftime, the Raiders were trying to guard against overconfidence as the score ballooned to 28-3.
Hey, your frame of mind is critical, right? Don't give a sucker an even break now. This is where you find out how tough you are. I mean it. This is how tough you got to be right now.
In the third quarter, Denver's only hope rested on their ability to stop Hostetler's hot hand and create some turnovers. The battered Broncos finally responded by forcing Raider runner Ty Montgomery to cough up the ball. Ray Crockett returned the fumble 43 yards to set up the first of 2 third-quarter Broncos touchdowns. Suddenly, there was finally hint of optimism for Bronco maniacs. Stranger things have happened in Mile High Stadium, but not against the Raiders, who finished what they set out to do: rout the Broncos in their own backyard. Harvey Williams' second touchdown of the day and Jeff Hostetler's 4th touchdown pass broke the Broncos' comeback. The final insult came courtesy of the Raiders' defense.
Come on, Raiders! Nail that coffin shut here now! Come on, baby. The last nail in the coffin here.
Out the shotgun, rifles it over to the near side, batted away and taken away by Terry McDaniel at the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, McDaniel. What a play.
And I went back first, then I felt it, and I just ran in. They threw it right up the net. Back to the old Raiders. Old uniforms, back to the old Raiders. We got to get ready to lead on that. Raiders are back. We're back. We're back. It's going to be scared. It's going to be scared.
Coming off of their most lopsided loss at home since 1966, the 0-3 Broncos now face another difficult task, a Monday night showdown in Buffalo. And the man with all the answers. Against the Raiders, the question was, who wears number 21, plays corner, and runs back punts for touchdowns? No, it wasn't Dion. It was Darian Flash Gordon.
10 gets a block to the 15, finds the seam, gets another block, goes to the 30, streaking down the sidelines to the 40, to midfield, past Gossett. And Gordon is down to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, he scores! Touchdown, San Diego!
Clad in their throwback white lightning uniforms, the Chargers stayed clean while dirtying Raider quarterback Jeff Hostetler with 3 sacks and numerous hurries. But Haas wasn't ready for the showers just yet and summoned his resourcefulness to run for a touchdown and throw for another.
The pass travels to the 5, going in for the goal line, diving, he's in! He goes straight up the middle for the first score of the day for the Raiders.
In the fourth quarter, it was the Raider defense that stole the lead.
Interception, deflected by Washington. He's got it to 15 to the 10 to 5. Touchdown, Raiders!
But the celebration was premature as John Carney had one last chance to save it for the Chargers with 2 seconds left.
Times John Elway could not go. It's Hugh Millen who starts. And early on, Tommy talked about it on game day, the Bronco defense had to make some assertion, had to change some things around versus Ryman Simon Fletcher. Ray Crockett with some good D against James Jett. And then again, Ryman Simon Fletcher with a good rush on the Hoss. The Broncos had 4 sacks in the first half.
We talked about the aggressiveness of that defensive line over the course of the last quarter of the season, and they have gotten very active.
Art Shell in the fake reverse says give it to Tommy Rathman. And the former Niner goes for 13 yards. Sets up the first of 5 field goals from Jeff Mick Jagger. His kick so strong, it looks so sweet. And right now, the Raiders have a 3-0 lead. Harvey Williams, next series, long necks his way for 17 yards. And Timmy Brown's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, great battle between Ray Crockett and Tim Brown all day here, one-on-one. Look at him work to the inside, work back out, shows the great hands and then the speed to run away from the defense.
Well, the one way to describe it, whoopee! That play by Tim Brown. Hugh Millen trying to make something happen. It's 6-0 Raiders. Millen to the flat to Shannon Sharp. The tight end turns it upfield. Look at him diss a tackler and go 35 yards all the way down to the 6. Broncos first and goal from the 1 after a penalty to the Raiders. First down. Millen, play action. Incomplete. Second and goal. Reggie rolling on a Rivers, rolls into Jerry Ball and loses 2 yards. Third and goal. Millen rolling to his right. But there's nobody open. And the Broncos have to settle for a field goal, and the Raiders maintain their lead 6-3 at the half. Ho, ho, ho. It's now 9-6. Raiders. Hostetler to the rocket. Boy, was he having fun with us on Monday night. He's having fun here. 12 yards, down to the 12-yard line. Hey, it's me, I caught it.
Again, double zone, you're talking about having to bump the receiver at the line or make him release inside. Rocket gets off the line, waves his hand immediately that he's open, gets the interference, and also gets the football.
Sets up another field goal, 12-6 against Wade Phillips Broncos. Then Haas says enough of this field goal stuff. I'm going to hit Tim Brown, my favorite receiver. Where's the defense? But what a surprise, a penalty on the Raiders. That brings it to 3rd and 10. Haas takes off, makes a move, and dives to the 6. 2 plays later, Hostetler. There's Fletcher on the right side. Good block in there in the left flat. Is Harvey Williams. Touchdown. So 5 field goals, 1 touchdown. You add it up. And the Raiders have won 6 of their last 8. They're 8-6, folks. And the Raiders beat the Broncos with a count of 23-13.
While today's Raider fans groove on funky rhythms, yesterday's faithful still rock steady to a silver and black beat.
James, how long have you been following the Raiders?
Oh, I've been following about 25 years. I used to go up to Oakland every weekend and watch them up there, and now they came to my town, so it's better.
New Raiders also cling to old Raider attitudes.
I know you hate my guts. I don't care. Punch me now. There. There. One more. There. Now I'm going to go
Fighting
inside.
for their playoff survival, both the Raiders and the resilient Broncos stalked softly, but carried big sticks.
On the 22 too. You lost your mind, didn't you? You left.
Well, see, he went to the line. I want to go to the.
I know it, but don't just play the bouncing ball. If you ain't crossed that line of scrimmage, you cover the little sucker, okay?
The Broncos chased Jeff Hostetler all over the Los Angeles Coliseum, hoping to deny him a game-breaking play. But eventually, one of his missiles found the Rocket.
He's got him there. The Rocket took it into the 12 first.
The Raider offense produced 5 field goals and 1 easy touchdown.
The flat Williams is there. Touchdown Raiders.
It looks like you're getting pretty good time. Take a nice size drop. Okay, and sit on it. The defense is going to come. They rolled it that way, and the outside guy widened quite a bit.
Quarterback Hugh Millen, subbing for John Elway, led his team to the brink of victory. But the final heights were scaled by the gutsy and unassailable Raider defense.
First down, isn't it?
First down. First down. First and goal at the LA 1. The give over to the left side. Did the man get in? No. Reggie Rivers is stopped. Second and goal, inches away. The give in the backfield. Rivers can't get out of the backfield. They'll stack him up about 1.5 foot away from the goal line. Here we go. Crowd on their feet. Give over to the near side. Can he get out of the backfield? No! Clark is buried back at the 4. What a stop by the Raiders.
The goal line stand was the defining moment in victory.
Max Montoya in his 200th league game. Perry, Mosbar, Wilkerson, and the rest opened big holes for Greg Robinson and earned time for Hostetler to find Alexander Wright wide open.
Hostetler back to pass, goes into the end zone right there.
The Raider offense had mapped a road to the end zone. On defense, battle-hardened wearers of silver and black barred the way. Number 52 linebacker Mike Jones detoured one side while Howie Long closed the other. Number 94 Anthony Smith took the inside route to one of 7 Raiders sacks. Design and execution created interception opportunities for Terry McDaniel and Derek Hoskins. Trailing in the final quarter, the visiting Raiders thundered back with a vengeance.
Throwing on first down, the pocket holds up, slings it over the middle, has James Jett, complete to the 50. There he goes to the 40, down to the 30. Nobody will catch James Jett. Put a gold medal around his neck. Touchdown Los Angeles. Jaeger from 53 yards with 21 seconds left. It's back, it's down, it's up. Does it have the distance? Yes! Yes! A low-line drive, and the Raiders take...
Jeff Jaeger's field goal ensured the Raiders their league best 30th win on Monday Night Football. Halloween meant colorful characters in the Coliseum, but most frightening were first-year Raiders speedsters James Jett and Rocket Ishmael, who cruised the sideline pregame but shifted to full flight at game time. Against the Chargers, blocks by 39 Kevin Smith, 54 Greg Biekert, Torin Dorn, Dan Land, and Randy Jordan gave the Rockets room to roam. Hostetler went long to Jett. Short to Robinson. And off into Brown, in passing for a Raider record 424 yards, as fellow quarterbacks Billy Joe Hobart and Vince Evans approved. But the Chargers hung on to tighten the AFC West. Dan Turk 67, Winston Moss, and Don Mosbar were primed and ready in San Diego. Blocking by 35, Steve Smith helped Greg Robinson rush for almost 100 yards. While Hostetler connected with James Jett 7 times for 138 yards. A determined Raider defense limited the Chargers to 7 points, with pressure by Greg Townsend, Anthony Smith, Howie Long, Chester McLaughlin, and a final interception by Lionel Washington. Center Dan Zerk, holder Jeff Gossett, kicker Jeff Jager, and blockers Todd Pete, Rich Stevens, Horton, and McCallum team for 4 field goals. The 12-7 victory was an NFL record 300th win since 1960. Beat the Broncos and earn the playoffs for the 18th time, and the 3rd under head coach Art Shell.
He's dropping back to throw. Here comes the pressure. Looks over to the right side, rolls over to the right side, fires over the middle. Touchdown, Tim Brown. Long cut by Hostetler. He's back to throw. Sets up, looks deep, down the middle. He's got Brown in the end zone.
Pro Bowl choice Tim Brown caught 11 passes for 173 yards and 2 scores. This would turn into an offensive shootout for the enthusiastic sellout crowd. But Raider defense would also be heard from. Raider regulars welcomed the challenge, as did veteran reserves like number 56, Andre Bruce, who blocked a punt. And first-year running back number 21, Tyrone Montgomery. It was a total team effort, and in the proud Raider tradition of greatness, heroes arose in the final seconds.
Come on out! Come on out!
Hostetler knows he's only got 8 seconds left. He's got to hurry. He looks over to the left side, looks over to the right side, fires to the right side. He's got a man. Touchdown Raiders! It's Alexander Wright. They tied it up with a final play in regulation. The Raiders tie it. Alexander Wright. No time left on the clock.
Alexander Wright's clutch catch forced overtime, giving Jeff Jager a chance to win it.
It's out of the hold of Jeff Gossett. The snap is back. It's down. It's up. It's on its way. It's long enough. It's good! The Raiders go to the playoffs! The Raiders go to the playoffs!
Jager's NFL record tying 35th field goal earned the Raiders a playoff game against the Broncos.
Now listen up. That's a good football team over there we beat today. A very good football team. And we got them again next week. Right here. Okay?
A sellout crowd of 68,000 faithful filled the Coliseum to see if their Raiders could beat the Broncos 3 times in one season.
Let's get after pretty good. Now, one thing you got to understand is the only way to play this game is you got to get down in the dirt and get nasty. Let's go.
With dirt flying from their feet and footballs from Hostetler's arm, the Raiders got nasty early, striking for the end zone.
Down the right side for James Jett. He beat his man. Complete inside the 5. Touchdown Raiders.
What a catch.
2nd and goal from the 8. Hostetler looking, setting, fires over the middle. Horton's there. Touchdown Raiders.
The strong-arm Hostetler found James Jett, Ethan Horton, and Tim Brown for first-half touchdowns. The offensive explosion netted a 21-21 tie at halftime. The Raider defense was without inside strength Chester McLaughlin, whose season ended in injury early in this playoff game. But these valiant Raiders would not waver. Torrin Dorn intercepted. In this final home game, 13-year veteran Howie Long pursued. Hoskins hit. And Ricky Dixon, 31, covered punts. Tackle Gerald Perry dominated, allowing Hostetler to continue the Raider plan of stretching the defense, of going deep. James Jett and Alexander Wright displayed Raider artistry at its finest. But the second half was Raider power football, featuring Napoleon McCallum, who blasted through for 3 touchdowns.
Pete is the fullback in front of Napoleon McCallum in the eye. McCallum up the middle. He's in. Touchdown Raiders.
Raider will to win was never more apparent. The year-long commitment by everyone, including Nick Bell, John Duff, Greg Screpinet, Rich Stevens, Daryl Hobbs, Barrett Collins, David Fulcher, Billy Joe Hobart, and Charles Jordan, overflowed for Coach Shell, his able staff, and the entire organization in this glorious playoff victory.
I want to give out 2 game balls myself. I'm going to give the game ball out. I want to give one to Dr. Bob's family. And I also want to give a game ball to the big guy back here. Hold up, Winston.
We got one more game ball. He's been doing it all year long for us. And I mean, coaches talked about him every single week, and he is that piece we've been missing, and that's Jeff Hostetler.
All right.
Since 1963, when Al Davis first pledged to build the finest organization in pro sports, the Raiders have took.
The winner was going to the playoffs. The loser was going home. Simple as that.
Playoff start for us right here today, baby. Oh, yeah. We back.
In a big game, nothing may be more important than scoring first. On the Chiefs' opening drive, the combination of Joe Montana and Willie Davis lit up the scoreboard.
Montana throwing long, has a man open, Willie Davis, 10-5, touchdown Kansas City Chiefs! 1st and 10 for the Raiders, 12 seconds left to go in the half, 7-3 Kansas City. Hostetler to throw, looking to the right side, pass is intercepted by Collins, he's at the 30, he's at the 40, at the 50, at the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10-5, touchdown, Mark Collins, Kansas City! What a win in the house! Mark Collins nails the Raiders with a 77-yard interception return. Hey, it's a hell of a deal. We got 30 minutes to go. 30 minutes to go. Yeah, you gotta believe. Let's go. Hostetler to throw on 2nd and long. His protection breaks down. Here comes the backside rush. Hostetler still looking. He's sacked by Darren Mickle.
On 4th down in the 4th quarter, Marcus Allen made a statement. But there remained a few more setbacks to overcome before victory could be assured.
Nothing you can do about it. Look at me. If you let it bother you, it'll jump. Now look at me and understand it's over. That play that they scored on is over. It's just like the fumble by Greg Hill. We can't do anything about it. Hey, it's over. Take a look at the scoreboard. Our season is hanging. Now let's go.
With a 19-9 lead and 6.5 minutes left in the game, the Chiefs put their 5th consecutive playoff trip in the hands of Marcus Allen.
Pound on him, baby. Pound on him.
2nd down and 8 for the Chiefs. Marcus Allen, 35, 40, has a 1st down. Marcus Allen is over 100 yards. 3rd down and 12 for the Chiefs. They lead 19-9. Marcus Allen up the middle now, trying to get to the outside. Marcus Allen at the 50, 45, slides to a stop with a 1st down at the Raider 43-yard line. Well, give him the 10,000 yards. I said we needed it. 9th all-time in the history of the league. Isn't it amazing how big-time players come to play in a big-time game?
They just talking about respect. I didn't talk to you about respect. You can't get no respect unless you went out here, baby. How much respect you don't get? We own them boys. We own them kids.
Ding dong. The bell rings, and who's standing at the door of the AFC for the playoffs? The Kansas City Chiefs, for the 5th straight year, are going to the playoffs. That's the longest current streak in the National Football League.
One of the things we're very proud of is the fact that we're the only team in the National Football League that has qualified for the playoffs each year in the 90s. And I think that's quite an achievement for this organization and these players.
Let's go, hey, Mark! One play at a time, let's go!
Once again, Steve Bono's fourth quarter passing precision brought them back from the brink of oblivion. Equally important was the performance of a relentless defensive unit that kept the Raiders out of the end zone for the entire second half. The result was, for the second consecutive week, a Chiefs game was tied at 17 points at the end of regulation.
Now come here, I want to tell you something. You have dominated them to this point. You have dominated them in the kicking game. We got to dominate them one more play.
There's going to be a big ball come out of here in a hurry. Alert our secondary. Let's go.
For the second straight week, overtime proved to be a golden opportunity as a key free agent acquisition, James Hasty dramatically paid his first dividend.
Up and late, intercepted by James Hasty. He's at the 50, he's at the 40, Hasty at the 30, he's at the 15. Touchdown, 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 touchdown to win the game. James Hasty, 62 yards, interception return for a touchdown. Welcome to Kansas City, James Hasty. Kansas City wins in overtime. 62-yard interception return for a touchdown.
In Week 14, the Chiefs visited the friendly environs of the Oakland Coliseum.
They were worse in LA, they were worse than Oakland. The fans didn't love them. They're gonna love us even more when we get to put this rubbing on them. We're going for the division today, man. That's all it's about, winning this division.
Raider flag, 1, 2, 3.
In this vintage rivalry, the day belonged not to the Raiders, but to Marcus Allen, who haunted his former team with his biggest day of the season.
42, counter play, up the middle goes to Marcus Allen, tiptoeing through 50-yard line, breaks the left side, 45-40, Marcus Allen across the 35, being chased and finally tomahawked down, a run of 38 yards. Marcus Allen trying the left side, and breaks a tackle of Hoskins at the 15-yard line inside the 10. He broke 3 Oakland Raider tackles, a gain of 25 yards. Marcus Allen right side spins into the end zone. Touchdown, Marcus Allen. His 125th touchdown. He's now tied with Jim Brown and Walter Payton on the all-time NFL list.
He was not. I say he was not going to be denied that time.
Hey, we score one more time, might as well give them a pillow because they're going to lay down. Take a work.
We gotta have it next week. We gotta have it today. Let's go.
So at the 30-yard line, Evans throws the football, intercepted in the left flat by Washington. 40 up to the 50s in the open field. See ya, Oakland Raiders. Brian Washington goes all the way. Touchdown, Kansas City.
So long. Put that nail in that coffin now. Hey, this is the best. You can't get no better than this.
The Chiefs win the AFC Western Division with 21 shopping days still until Christmas.
Today was a special day to come here in Oakland and beat them on their own turf and beat them bad. Hardly been best in the West. Best in the West. Best in the West.
Hey, let's go. This is very brief, man. We want to get the hell out of this dungeon. Listen to me. Now, hold on a second. Just hold on. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of guys that stepped up today. I mean, a lot of guys that stepped up big time. It's in the books. Kansas City Chiefs, 11-2, AFC Western Division.
Incredibly, Marty Schottenheimer's teams have made the playoffs in 10 of the 11 years he's been a head coach.
Hold it! Carl's got something.
I'm going to give the first one to the head coach of the team they picked to come in 6th place in a 5-team division.
For everybody, man. Everybody. Yes!
I would be less than candid if I didn't say it wasn't a little bit special to be able to win the division against them, because clearly they were everybody's preseason pick, not only to win the AFC West, but also to win the AFC Conference.
They win the division, and after all, they've beaten the Raiders 18 of the last 20 times. Raiders haven't won an Arrowhead since 1988. This one was over, right? Well, the way it started, certainly true. Raiders punt after 3 and out. Tamarick Vanover. Tommy, he's one of the best at doing this.
Well, he's got great speed and great upper body strength, so once he breaks that first wave, if you don't stay in your lanes, he's going to do that to you often.
His 8th return, his career 7-0 Chiefs, and then James Hasty picks off Rich Gannon. He's gone. We've played 2 minutes and 15 seconds. The Chiefs have not even been on offense, and they lead at 14-0. And so, here comes Derek Thomas.
Well, the stunt between the tackle and the end, Derek Thomas going to come inside, the end going to go outside. Leslie O'Neal, you see Gannon step up, a great job of finding the lane. His offensive line does a good job, and just an errant throw by the quarterback as he throws a pick right there to Chris Dishman.
So the Chiefs know that the Raiders' tackles are hurt. They're looking for the sack, and now the Raiders change their game plan. A little screen to Zach Crockett, king of the wild frontier. 12 yards, touchdown, 17-14. Then, look at this shovel pass coming up from Gannon. Whoop! Inside the vest to Napoleon Coffey, 22 yards. Hey, the Raiders have been down 17-0. They lead 21-17. It's 28-24. Raiders at the half in a wild one. Third quarter, Chiefs on their own too. This is Kansas City football. Janelle Bennett, 29 yards. And then, Tom, you think that they like that?
Well, and look at the blocking schemes. They aren't doing a whole lot here other than blowing out the guy in front of them. There you saw a little pull by the tackle inside. But most of this is basically just running the football right at the Raiders and allowing the running back to break tackles and get yards.
Elvis Gerback. Now you're expecting run. They throw it to Joe Horn. Chiefs 31. Raiders 28. Lockett jumps over Horn. And now the Raiders, do they jump over the Chiefs? Look at Tyrone Wheatley. This is, where was this with the Giants? Because, what a great effort for a touchdown by Tyrone Wheatley. 35-31. There it is. Minute 34 to go with 38-35. The Chiefs have the lead. On 4th and 13, Gannon to Tim Brown. Setting up. Joe Nedden, 38 yards. He missed last week. He makes this week. Good. We're going to overtime. Tied at 38. Chiefs. Well, we're not going to overtime yet. My bad. 3rd and 5. A 10-yard play to Joe Horn and Pete Stoyanovich for the win. 44 yards. Hook. No good. No, we go to overtime. In overtime, ex-chief kickoff man John Baker has kicked the ball out of bounds 3 times. So he gives the Raiders great field position. Gannon to Ricky Dudley. The Chiefs don't have the ball. Joe Nedney has tied it. Can he win it? 33 yards. Good! For the first time in the 90s. Although we really aren't in the 90s. The 99 season. The Kansas City Chiefs have lost at home to the Oakland Raiders. And the one time that they needed to beat their Raiders, they couldn't do it. The Chiefs' loss puts them out